There's nothing worse. There's just nothing worse to be accused of as a parent.
The Department of Education sending child services to the home of an honor student at Xaverian High School because he didn't show up for class at a public school he never enrolled in. Good evening, I'm Christine Persichetti. The Department of Education is calling it a very bad mistake. But how could this happen? Currents News' Emily Drewby joins us now with more on what exactly went wrong and how. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Christine. A very bad mistake indeed. Now, the Brooklyn Public School had high schooler John Tomasi on their roster, despite the fact he was never enrolled by his parents and he spent his entire education in Catholic schools. Now, the family didn't even know what was happening until a child abuse investigator showed up on their doorstep.
This is his real report card.
Margaret Green Tomasi has her son John's real report card stashed next to two fakes that set off a child abuse investigation.
This was the letter from ACS that it's suspected child abuse or maltreatment.
It started when the Administration for Children's Services, or ACS, showed up at their door.
I said, ACS? And she said, yes, there's an investigation open for John Tomasi. I said, for what? She said, he's not attending Cobble High School. I said, well, that's crazy because he attends Xaverian High School.
John had been attending the Bay Ridge Catholic High School. The former Catholic Academy student had never been to public school. But for some reason, John was on the roster at Cobble Hill School of American Studies in Brooklyn. They never got the message he wasn't coming. He was marked absent for months, prompting the abuse investigation. John's mom says the visit was terrifying and included interviews, a search of their home, even physically checking John for signs of abuse.
Somebody knocked on your door and that they can potentially take your child from the home. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen. That didn't happen. But for the first time in my life, that could happen. And there are no words.
And that wasn't all. Around the same time, a public school report card came for John. It was filled out.
And he's in progress in algebra.
Margaret couldn't get in touch with the school so they could clear up the mistake. Finally, someone from the Department of Education said they would take John off the list. At the same time, the ACS investigation came back as unfounded.
And I thought, okay, this is over.
But then another filled out report card showed up in the mail.
When I got that second report card, I was afraid. I thought, can they reopen another investigation on me? He's still in that system.
Only after the story spread did the deputy superintendent for Brooklyn schools finally reach out to Margaret and assure her it was a mistake. But Margaret still isn't 100% sure that it's over, and the trauma is long lasting. And so is the ACS record.
And it doesn't get expunged for another 10 years. So it's closed, but I don't know what that means. How closed is it? That's very frightening to me.
She says they only had one warning from the school back in October when she received John's schedule in the mail. After multiple calls and emails to the school, she figured it was just a mistake, a decision she greatly regrets. But still, she's confused as to how it got this far.
How do you admit someone, they have no transcripts, they have no immunization records, he's never been to public school, so where did this child come from?
One of the reasons Margaret's speaking out about the situation is to warn other parents to stay vigilant and to never give up. Now, we did reach out to the school, but we haven't heard back. However, the Department of Education did tell us this shouldn't have happened and that the matter is being investigated. Christine?
Emily, the pandemic has really affected the New York City public school system. Does Margaret think that it was a factor here?
Christine, it was definitely a factor in her trying to get the situation fixed. With a lot of people working from home at both the school and the DOE, Margaret had to rely on phone calls and emails, which weren't always answered. Also, this case clearly highlights flaws in the New York City public schools attendance system during the pandemic. Christine?
All right, Emily, thank you. If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell to get updates to all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.